So, the more that I think about it, maybe I really should give her a major shout out because, like, she was an intricate part of my introduction to the sport because, like, I really needed someone to show me the rules, the sport, like the lines, what the difference between singles and doubles was. Again, how to keep the score, where you're supposed to be standing when the score is called out. Like, literally all the things because, and she played an intricate part because coming from a family that everybody played ball, whether that was a football, basketball, or baseball, who do I go to now for tennis? Like my daddy at this point had totally checked out. And the reason he had checked out at this point because I'm like a junior in school going into my senior year. So these are intricate parts of like your scouting gears for baseball or basketball or whatever it is that your choice of, interest is going to be. So he was upset with me not only because of the change in sport, but because he knew what it meant as far as my future moving forward. So I understood that responsibility and I understood and I heard exactly where it was he was coming from. But I was just kind of like at a point where I was like, well, if that's going to be the case, then shouldn't it be something that I at least want to do? And so he was not hearing it for the tennis long run, but I totally his heart was in a good place. But back to shout out to the girl because like she literally just took me under her little wing. She knew I didn't know crap about tennis, child. Didn't know a single thing. And so she did what she could with what she had. And so here I'm getting all excited because my junior year is getting ready to come up. And the tennis team is getting ready to, for tryouts. And so here I am going out here thinking that, I'm going to join the team and, I'm going to make new friends because, again, here we go. Predominantly white school. None of my interests that I did while I was in school with none of those people out here on this tennis court. Like, because if I was on the baseball team, tennis and baseball ran at the same time. So you couldn't do both. So the baseball dudes that I knew were up there on the baseball field. So I didn't know none of them. All of the choir kids that I was familiar with weren't those cool choir kids where they, were the lead soloists and they were on the tennis team. I remember there was, shout out to Megan, because I do remember she was both a vocalist and an athlete. She was on the softball team. So there was like one exception. But for the most part, they, a totally different group of children is the picture that I'm painting here, okay? So your boy is out there by himself is what I'm getting at. You feel me? Like just out there. And I didn't know or recognize any of the kids on the tennis team, like outside of the tennis team. Like I didn't really know these people. Like I didn't really know them. So it was like, whoa, a brand new world, like a whole new world. So but I was determined because I, again, fell in love with, like, the process of the tennis and what it does to you mentally and the constant challenge of, like, are you hustling enough? Is your footwork correct? Are you behind the ball where you're supposed to be? Are you hustling? Or, like, I love that feeling of it. That and tennis really requires you to focus. Like, it's not one of those sports where I feel like you can really have a whole lot on your mind. You need to be able to kind of set those things aside and like really focus on what's at hand because you don't really have time for nothing else. That ball be coming back before you know it. So like you really need to be in the moment, focused and, keeping your eye on the ball. And, for the tennis girlies, y'all get it. You have to be in it in that moment. And I enjoy that aspect of it. So yeah, shout out again to girl. for her helping me at that time in my life, because ooh honey, it was rough. But also shout out to my mama, because especially with it, Mother's Day is just passing, because she never doubted the kid. She was like, y'all gonna leave my baby alone, he gonna go out here, he gonna figure it out. Baby, please go figure it out. And so she did her part. Like, she made sure that I had tennis rackets. And like, but she was smart about it. She's like, because baby, at that time, tennis rackets were still somewhat expensive, at least, the really good ones. And, but I thank God for her showing me how to find other means of finding tennis rackets, because girl, I don't pay them prices. No ma'am, no ma'am. And so we would do things like find them at little yard sales, or we would find them like in places that you would never think would sell tennis rackets. But one of my best tennis rackets got me through my senior year of school, and a good part of my little tennis season too, but we'll get into that. We found it at, I believe it was like TJ Maxx or somewhere. It was like very odd. But I loved that tennis racket. But anyways, so yeah, she never doubted the kid. She always was just like, my baby gonna figure it out. And then secretly I felt like she was going behind closed doors like, Lord, what is he gonna do? But I hung in there and I figured it out. I remember back to the tryouts for my junior year, I sucked. I was terrible. Like, I was horrible. Because again, I was leaving the sport of baseball was my forte. I was really good at baseball. And then remember, I was sharing with you guys the story about the hand-eye coordination with my dad earlier. So I mean, I really understood the sport very well. And so when it came to tennis, it's a whole nother ball game. So here I am still using baseball techniques for my shots, and I can't even keep the ball inside the little the little quote unquote cage, or the fence that they keep around the court to ensure that the balls don't travel too far. And I was so heartbroken when I did not make the team my junior year. Like, I just felt like the world was just going end. But I was determined that I was just like, bruh, it had to be because they hate the kid. Being that I was the only little chocolate kid at the time, I even tried to pull the race card. But my mama was like, oh, no, baby. It ain't because you wanted a chocolate kid. It's because you suck, baby. Honey, you were terrible. Didn't you see how the other kids can at least keep it inside the lines? Your ball over here at the car lot. Over here in the parking lot. Like, baby, trust me, it ain't because you was a chocolate kid, honey. It's because you was terrible. But you know what? Shout out to my mom, because she has always been able to keep it 100% just real like that. Like, we've always been able to just talk. So I love my mom for that. And she was like, now what you gonna do is, instead of sitting over here pouting, talking about you the little chocolate kid, you gonna get up, you gonna go find your tennis ball, and we gonna work on it. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I remember I worked on tennis that entire summer from my junior year leading into my senior year. So much that the high school tennis coach, ironically enough, or maybe this was God, I don't know, but it's a part of my story. I was at the local tennis courts out there working on trying to get better, because I wanted to make the team my senior year, and he was there giving lessons, of course, because tennis is not one of them sports where you just you just thought you were just gonna walk up and you just gonna naturally know how to play. So, and that's what my mom was trying to get me to understand. Like, these children have been at this just as long as you have been at baseball. So, like, don't be upset with them. Don't feel like you can't do it. It's just you need the skills and the time, and you need to practice and put in time into your craft. Like, what did you think you was just gonna walk out there and be Serena Williams? Like, get it together, kid. And so she ignited that fire, And so, like I said, we was at the local tennis court, and the high school tennis coach was there. And he was like, he seen that determination of me still working on it. But, of course, I was doing crap all the way wrong. And he was like, look, being that you want to learn the sport so much, you literally out here working on it by yourself, I'm willing to at least show you, a few things. He was like, maybe you can meet me here around this time, every day of the week if your parent is okay with that, and I'll work with you for about 45 minutes to an hour. And looking back on it now, I really appreciate him going that extra mile, because he really didn't have to do that, because he was literally charging the other kids. But yeah, here he was willing to give me a little chance. And I say that to say, like, that's crazy. Maybe you should always continue to just work on your craft. Like, when you working on things, like, gotta show you, hey, you can do this. And it sends you a lending hand sometimes. And so, yeah, shout out to him. Coach Will was his name. I want to say Coach Will was his name. I'm terrible with names, y'all. Like, I'm terrible with names. Charge it to my head. Please don't charge it to my heart. And I realized that I'm one of those people to where I really remember you when you make me feel something. And those two people I can remember intricately, because here I am sharing my tennis story, and how dare I, introduce my journey without going back and showing my due respects where they are due. And those two people is what really, gave me a chance and kind of showed me, like, hey, it's not that big of a deal. You can do this. And I took those skills and, really, really worked on them. Really, really, really worked on them. So, yeah, shout out to them, y'all. That's my introduction to tennis. So I continued to work on my skills to try to get better all throughout the summer. I've now bumped into the coach, and, he's giving me a little help too. And the time has come now for tryouts my senior year. And it was a difference between night and day. I now understood the tennis lingo. Down the line, cross court, this is the alley, this is the service line, this is ad, this is deuce, that's an ace, this is, a service return, or, I felt like I knew all the things of the things. And all of my hard work paid off, y'all. I made the tennis team. And it was probably one of the best experiences of my life. It really opened my eyes to what happens when you seriously have a goal and you work towards it. And just not being afraid again to go after it. That senior year, I wasn't too much really worried about finding quote unquote friends at that point. I knew that I needed to be on the team first. Like, that was my first mission, was to, make the team. And so when it came time to run, I didn't necessarily like running. Still don't like running to this day. But if running is what it required, I did the running. And, oh my God, the suicides. Oh, Jesus, I hate those to this day. But these are all things that I got to experience and learn and be on the tennis team. And that's when I met my first doubles partner. His name was John Michael Criswell, I think was his name. I told y'all I'm terrible with names. But anyway, and he was a heavier set guy. He was younger than me. If this was my senior year, I believe this was like his sophomore year, I think. Anyways, but we were partnered up. That was my doubles partner. And to him, tennis, I think he played just because, it was one of the things that the kids did at the country club. It wasn't really something he was like just crazy about. You could tell like he was just, oh yeah, I play tennis. But to me, it was like, hey bro, I need you to get your together. We need to win. Like, I'm after, I got a lot to prove here, Not do I just want to be on the tennis team, but I actually want to win. And you could see it in my hustle. I used to feel like there was never a ball that I could not get to. My mom even shares the story about one particular tennis match. A guy had hit a ball fairly short, and I was running after the ball, and I wasn't gonna quite get there, and I quite just dove, forehead first, dove, shoo, boom, and to get the ball. Now, I don't quite remember if I won that point or not, but what I do remember was the nasty scratch it left on my knee. Oh, God. And I was just like, you know what? Never again will I be doing that. Never again. And so I had to just figure out other ways in order to get to the ball or to slide or to just eat that feeling of, oh, dang, they really got me. And not to hit that shot again so they won't get me the next time. So yeah, my senior year is where I really got the chance to really, really fall in love with the sport. And it gave me the opportunity to travel. I had never really traveled before then because, like I said, I had quit the baseball team and I didn't want to do that no more. And so yeah, and to like really be a part of a team and all of the aspects, all of the things. And so yeah, tennis has always been had a very special place in my heart because it really showed me that with hard work, it'll pay off. It really will pay off.